Hello everyone, this is HammerTron here with a new action figure review for you. Well, this time an action figure with a vehicle. This is the Animal Planet Rescue Excursion. This seems to be an exclusive set to Target. I've only seen these kinds of sets at Target stores. And it comes in an open package where we can see the action figure and the animal, the trailer, and the vehicle. So I bought this mostly because I like the vehicle. Here we have a little try it feature with the animal. So it looks like a very interesting set here. Here is the top of the box. There is the bottom of the box. Seems to be made by Blip Toys, and it's made for Discovery Communications, which owns the Animal Planet logo. Here is one side of the box, and the other side of the box. And here is the back, where we have a nice picture of everything that comes in this set. So this was made in 2020, and I got this in 2021. So I'll open this up and review the set itself in just a moment. Here are the individual items. Some various tools for doctors or scientists. So this syringe will fit into the action figure's hand. Either hand. There we go. So all of these should fit into the hand without too much trouble. So it takes a little bit of work there. Some tweezers. It takes a little bit of work to make it fit in the hand and stay there. Well, I don't know what that thing is, but whatever it is, it'll fit. Well, no, that one doesn't fit very well. Now, so some of these don't fit very well. I think this goes around the neck, although it doesn't really hang naturally. But at least it fits on there. Alright, these are the tweezers. These fit into the hand nicely. And this will fit in. Wrap it around the fingers there. So these are nice for imagining some kind of activity. And then looks like a mug for his coffee or whatever his beverage is. So we just have to wrap it around the fingers. Sometimes you have to push a little harder to make it fit. Well, maybe this hand is better. There we go. So these are the accessories that come with this set. Nice little tools. Here's the action figure that comes with this set. This is some kind of explorer or safari explorer. Let's see how tall this action figure is. Looks like it's about 4 inches tall. So a little bit bigger than the 1/18 scale for action figures. And we'll take a closer look at the details. So there's a hat there. Looks like a little bit of painted detail up there. And just a normal looking person there. And looks like a body here with some clothes sculpted on. So that's a little detail. Have some kind of walkie-talkie. I think that's an extra piece glued on because this top part's a bit rubbery or pliable. And maybe these black parts are extra pieces that are glued on, or it's part of the sculpt and it's painted. A little hard to tell. And then there's some painting on the belt buckle. And some extra pieces, some rope, and a flashlight. So these are glued onto the body. And then there's a pair of shorts sculpted onto the legs there. And then some socks and boots. So they did a nice job sculpting it and painting it. It seems to look pretty good. And there are no peg holes on the bottom there. So, not a bad looking action figure. It's a relatively cheap action figure, but it looks like they put some effort into making it look pretty good and then painting it. So I appreciate the attention to details there. There's some big hole there. I think there's a screw in there for putting the body together. So this is a rather cheap action figure. Well, cheap or inexpensive, with 5 points of articulation. We can just turn the head there, and the arms move up and down, and the legs move up and down, and that's it. Now it's a little bit rubbery with or pliable. The plastic is kind of pliable. I can bend this if I push pretty hard, and these arms kind of bend a little bit, so I don't want to bend too much. I'm sure it'll snap off, but it's all pretty pliable. Not as stiff as the old Star Wars action figures from the 70s and 80s, but this looks pretty good. Here is the big cat of the set. It looks like a Black Panther. Maybe it's meant to be a Black Panther. But let's take a look at the size of this little figure here. Up to the highest point, it's about 3 inches tall. From the nose to the tail, looks like, oops, looks like it's a little more than 7 inches long. And at the widest point, about 2 inches wide. And it looks like they've done a lot of work to sculpt in the fur texture on the body. And there, they've sculpted a ferocious looking face. The eyes look alright. And then some big white sharp teeth. Although we can't get our fingers in there to feel how sharp the teeth are, but they certainly look scary. There's some claws. They've sculpted some claws here, but they don't seem to be painted. And they've done some work on the bottom of the paws. So a lot of nice detailed work here. So there's a nice long tail. So it looks like a nice Black Panther figure. Now it's kind of an action figure, so it does have some joints. That's as far as we can move the leg. Not very far there. And now the articulation is very limited on this. And then this arm moves. But it has an action feature, an actual action figure. So there's a button here, we push it. So looks nice. The articulation is very limited, so it's always going to be in this pose, especially if we want it to stand stably. So let's see how big it is compared to the action figure. So, very, very, very big. I think the largest cat in the world is a tiger, and even the tiger is not quite this big compared to a 6-foot tall person. So this might be a little bit too big to accurately represent a real animal. But it certainly does look cool this way. Here is the vehicle with the trailer. This was the big selling point for the set. Part of the reason why I bought it. I was mostly interested in the vehicle. Let's take a quick look at how big it is compared to the action figure. So it seems to be nicely sized and proportioned with the action figure. So pretty good. And the big cat. The big cat is pretty big compared to this vehicle. So this is a truck that has a trailer, and it seems to roll pretty nicely. Let's take a look at the trailer here. In the trailer we have the hitch, which is simply a little hole here, and it fits on the trailer hitch of the vehicle. So that part works nicely. And here it's a little piece that sticks out to hold it level when it's not connected to the vehicle. And here we have a nice cage with pliable plastic. And here is a ramp. We can simply pull it open. So that seems to work pretty nicely. Just pull it open and then we can snap it back in place. We have some nice a little bit of texturing to represent the wood, although the color is certainly different from wood or metal. And it has some simple wheels. The wheels are hollow on the inside, and it looks like they are connected separately, so it's not a single axle. And there's a big hole. This is how the trailer was attached to the box. So it was an open box, but you have a plastic screw in there to hold it into place so that nobody can just take it out of the open box. So I think it looks okay. Although I just don't see how it's going to hold a cat inside. Now the cat is actually too long to really fit in there correctly. So he's always going to be hanging out. A little hard to get him balanced just right. So no, it doesn't fit quite right. So we're always going to have this big cat hanging out of the trailer. I don't see how it's going to be kept in the trailer. It could just leap out at any time it wants. Let's take a look at the vehicle. Here, it's pretty much a single color with a little bit of painting here, a little bit of painting there. It does have a lot of detail sculpted in it, but it's not really painted at all, so it's kind of cheap. But considering the price of about $20 at the time I got this, it's a little unrealistic to expect a whole lot more detail than this. So it has some extra details or lights here, and then I'm not sure what that is. I think it's probably meant to be a camera. Could be a camera. Here's the camera lens and a microphone. Or it could become some kind of ray gun. And then here's a nice antenna. Now, all of this was already attached to the truck. It looks like all the wheels are attached separately. There's not a single axle. here is where it was attached to the cardboard box. So we just have to unscrew something through the cardboard. And on the inside, we can reach inside of the truck here. It's a nice painting design or print design. And there's a steering wheel. So this is part of what attracted me to the vehicle. From this angle it looked pretty nice. It had a steering wheel and looked like a door was sculpted into it. Now this does not open, so I'm not too surprised about that. There's an open top where we can fit the action figure in there. And so I got this because I wanted a 1/18 scale vehicle to go along with the G.I. Joe or some other similarly scaled action figures. The one part that I'm a little disappointed about here is getting the action figure to sit inside. Takes a little bit of work to get him angled in there, but with his legs, there's only one space in the middle to push the legs in, and it's kind of hard to get him to sit correctly. So I think it would be very difficult to get two action figures to sit side by side in this vehicle. I can at least get one, and I can get him in the right place so it looks like he's actually driving. So that's pretty good at least, but I don't think I can get two together at the same time. Here are the trailers from the Animal Planet Rescue Excursion, and here's the trailer from the Adventure Force Dinosaur Explorer. And I thought that they were identical because they looked very, very similar. You know, the bars seem to have the same bends here, but after comparing them side by side, it looks like the Adventure Force trailer is wider. And the bottoms have different designs. This one has a large hole there in the middle, and this one has lots of smaller holes in it. So we can see that they are different sizes. So the Adventure Force trailer is a bit bigger. So here are the action figures. One from the Animal Planet and one from the Adventure Force, and it looks like they're nearly identical. I think the bodies and the arms are identical on both of these action figures, but the heads and the hats, I think the head and the hat are a single mold, so those are just a little bit different, and also the legs are a little bit different. So I think it's part of a whole series of available action figure molds that the whatever company this is uses, and they change the parts and paint them differently for different brands. Here's the Adventure Force Jeep and the Animal Planet Jeep. So these are obviously different molds, so very different designs. I do like this Animal Planet Jeep a little bit more. It seems to have a little bit more realistic proportions and looks more like something we would actually see. The Jeep's wheels, I think, are too large for it to be a realistic representation of a vehicle. I think this Animal Planet Rescue Excursion set is an okay set. I'm going to give it the HammerTron Sledgehammer rating of it's okay. Because it comes in an open package and we see exactly what we're getting. So we can see what it is and how it looks. We shouldn't be too surprised about it or too disappointed. The only disappointing thing is putting the action figure in the vehicle. A little bit difficult to put two action figures together in the vehicle. That's not quite obvious because we can't do that in the store, but other than that, it looks like it's alright, and it would be useful for different displays. Some people might want to customize it or add some painting to it to make it look more realistic and improve how it looks. So it's not too bad a set to get. Thank you for watching my review video. Remember to like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with my future reviews. I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.